In this evening's video, we're going to be making homemade Mongolian beef. So if you're like me, you love Mongolian beef from the Chinese takeout, but tend to get a stomachache after you eat it because the oils are so low quality. So I've got some beef cut up here. A tip on the beef is just to go ahead and slice it before it thaws out all the way. If it's just a little bit frozen, it slices really easily. So we'll throw a little bit of avocado oil into our cast iron skillet here and get our meat cooking. And while that's cooking, we can get our sauce prepared. I like to use a mixture of sesame oil, maybe, I don't know, a couple tablespoons, and olive oil. So olive oil is a little bit strong in flavor for this application, but its health benefits are a lot better than some of the other oils that you can use. And then go ahead and add in maybe a couple tablespoons of soy sauce and or coconut aminos right into your oil mixture there. And again, everything is relative here. Let's put a little bit of that in. And then in that sauce, I'm going to put in about an inch of fresh ginger, and then about 4 cloves of chopped or pressed garlic. And we'll just let that all sit together. And we'll add that sauce right at the end, so it'll get that flavor, but it won't kill off the beneficial compounds in the garlic by overheating it. So once our meat is almost cooked all the way through, still just a touch of pink on it, I like to go ahead and set it aside on a plate, and then we'll dump in our veggies. Here we've got a mixture of a sweet Vidalia onion and just a white onion, and then just some peppers that I had laying around that need to get used up. If you've got green onions or a bell pepper, you can add that in. And then at the end, we're gonna add, instead of rice, we're gonna add these riced cauliflower and broccoli mixtures. Okay, once your veggies have cooked for a few minutes, if your pan's good and hot, they should cook in maybe 3 to 6 minutes. Just get them to your taste of tenderness. You can go ahead and add in your cauliflower rice. And that, if it's like me, it's frozen and a little bit moist, so it'll take a minute or two to get that warmed up and some of that moisture evaporated off. And once you do that, once that gets warm, you can add back in your meat and your sauce. So for the sauce, I went ahead and added some sriracha just to give it a little bit of flavor and heat. A lot of recipes call for fish sauce, which has a really good flavor, but has such high sodium content that I don't prefer to use it in my cooking. So I've got everything all warmed up now. I've got beef on this half, and I actually made half of it chicken just because the kids like that better. Other vegetables you can add to it would be like some steamed broccoli or sauteed broccoli or spiralized zucchini or spiralized sweet potatoes. So now that's warmed up, I'll go ahead and turn the heat off and move the plate off the burner to make sure that it stays nice and cool. And then we'll go ahead and dump in our sauce mixture and let that warm up. We can kind of stir that sauce mixture in. Trying not to mix the chicken and the beef.
Don't step to your left.
We'll just let that sit here and warm up, and then it's all ready to serve. All right, today we're going to be making some homemade vanilla extract for use in cooking and baking. So I've ordered some Madagascar vanilla beans from Amazon, 10 of them, and I found that a good ratio is about 10 beans to a quart or about 5 beans to a pint. A lot of times I'll buy 10 beans and I'll do 2 pints, one with vodka and one with bourbon. This time I'm just going to make a whole quart of vodka. The vodka is a little bit mellower than the bourbon, but if you like bourbon like I do, then you can really enjoy that flavor. So it's really easy to do. All you do is just go ahead and put your beans into the jar. You don't need to cut them or anything like that. If you are doing a pint jar, you'd need to cut the beans in half. Otherwise they're too tall for a pint jar. And then just simply pour in your alcohol until it's covered. Looks about good. So let's take a look here, make sure that they're fully covered. Yep. And then I'll usually just label and date the jar lid, set it in the pantry for usually 1 to 2 months, and just give it a good shake, maybe every week or so, just to keep the beans mixed up. And then after a month or two, you can strain it off with a coffee filter or a colander or something like that, and put it into your smaller serving jars. You can give it around to your friends and family, or just use it up.